So you're thinking about moving to San Antonio, and now that you've made a decision to move here, or maybe you're living here already and life happens and you are hit with the unexpected and now you need to move away from San Antonio. So you're faced with this decision of whether you want to sell your property or you want to rent it out. Well, I'm going to share with you the pros and cons of both of those choices, and if you decide to rent out, I'm going to share with you why I think it's the best decision that you hire a property manager to help you rent out your property. If this is your first time tuning with the channel, I want to be the first to say welcome. I'm going to share with you everything there is to know about living in San Antonio and the surrounding suburbs. Make sure you hit the subscribe button below, that way you can find out about the newest videos that come out and the current market trends here in the San Antonio area. My name is Tracy, I am a mom to 5 and your local San Antonio realtor. My family and I have lived in San Antonio for almost 10 years. We moved here in 2016, right before my son was born. My team and I like helping people make their move and transition to the Alamo City, so please make sure that you connect with us. All of our information is in the description area, and we'd love to help you make a smooth and pain-free transition to the San Antonio area, whether that's in 1 week or 1 year. We'd love to connect with you. Okay, so let's start with the first. If you are going to be selling your home, or should you be selling your home? So there are 3 reasons why you'd want to sell your home. Number 1, you need the equity to purchase the new home in whatever city you are moving to. You don't want the responsibility of being a landlord. And 3, the current market is giving you a strong return on your investment. Let's just say you bought your house a couple years ago and the house has appreciated in value, so you can get so much more equity out of your home. You want to be able to put on the market because that's going to help set you up financially for when you are moving to the new city that you're going to. You could either, put a larger down payment down to lower your monthly mortgage, or you could use that equity and purchase a bigger home for your family. Selling also makes sense if you do not want to be a landlord. Even if you are working with a property manager, you're still going to be a landlord, because if there's a vacancy, if there are problems that need to be fixed, you're the one that's still footing the bill. And so another thing with being a landlord is that you have to know what the rules and regulations are in your particular city for tenants and landlords, because tenants also still have rights when they are living in your house. And so if a problem arises, it's good to know what those rules and regulations are. And if you are the landlord, obviously you need to know that. But if you're selling your home, you're no longer caring about the mortgage, you're no longer worried about if something needs to be fixed, and you don't have to worry about the rules and regulations. And so that's one of the reasons why selling would make sense. And then also, like I said, if you're timing the market correctly, and nobody has a crystal ball, but if you're selling in a time when the market is hot and you have a lot of appreciation in the house, that's going to set you up also well financially in the future for when you purchase the next home in the new city that you're moving in. And one of the things that you can do, obviously, and something that I always recommend to people is, rent for a short term wherever you decide to move. That way you can figure out where you actually want to live, what areas are going to be fitting for your family. Maybe schools are important to you, and so you want to be able to move to that city, rent for about a year. That way you can check out the different areas, and then obviously maybe at that point the market will have cooled down a little bit, or you'll see different trends in the market, and then using that equity that you used from the sale of your home to purchase a new home, it's also going to set you up, because that larger down payment can help to lower your mortgage, and maybe even help set you up to buy a larger home that you want to use to be your forever home. Now, I obviously don't want to scare you off completely, because renting can also be very lucrative. It can also be a great tax benefit to you. And in that sense, obviously, make sure you check with your CPA to see what those benefits are, and if it's going to benefit you in the future for tax purposes. So when would renting make sense for you? Well, obviously, renting would make sense if the rent that you are charging covers the mortgage and all the other necessities that go in, such as property taxes, insurance, maintenance costs, the property management fee, and you're still able to turn a profit. So You would have to go obviously look at the larger and bigger picture to make sure that renting would make sense. It also makes sense if you are in it for the long haul and you really want to set up some wealth building strategies, because like I said, there are tax benefits involved in it, and real estate is going to appreciate always over time. It's nothing that's going to happen right away, and so it's a long-term game, and that's something that you have to obviously make sure that you are aware of. And another reason to rent out your property is if you don't need the equity right now. If you are okay renting it, moving elsewhere, and you want some cash flow, renting would be a good option. And like I said, that only makes sense if the rent covers the mortgage and all the necessarily monthly fees that happen. Now, I've said this before, but the local market here in San Antonio, especially for rental, is very strong. So you can definitely still get a return on your investment, but that only makes sense if the numbers make sense. So for example, I had a client who was looking to sell their home. They got a job offer somewhere else. They had purchased the home about a year earlier. They were not expecting to move, not wanting to move, but then a new position came up and now they're faced with either selling their property or renting it out. In their case, unfortunately, neither of those situations made sense for them because they hadn't lived in their house long enough, and so they didn't build enough equity, and then the monthly rent wasn't going to be enough to go cover their mortgage. But they had a new position and they had to go move. And so what do you do? Well, right now in this situation, we're picking the lesser of the two evils. And so the best thing to do is obviously, contact a real estate professional, see what the market is telling you in regards to potentially selling your home. We can all crunch numbers and look at what we call a net sheet to see what you would be getting or need to pay for your home if it's sold at the current market. And in this case, when we ran the net sheet, showed that if she sold at a certain dollar amount and after all the fees of, paying realtors, transferring the title, recording fees, everything else that's involved in purchasing or buying and selling a home, they would actually be out about $20,000. So in terms of a rental, if they rented it out after their mortgage was taken into consideration, the property management fee was taken into consideration, and all the other different fees, they would only be out about $200 each month. $200 times 12, $2,400 versus a $20,000. It makes more sense for them to rent it out, even if they are losing money. So what I would recommend, obviously, in either case is making sure that you contact a real estate professional, because going on to Zillow or any of those third-party sources is not going to give you credible information. You're going to find that information from real estate professionals who have access to the MLS and market trends and databases, so that way they can pull the correct information for you and make sure that you make the right decision for you and your family. So let's say you now have made the decision to rent out your property. My recommendation is to hire a property manager to help you manage that whole entire process. And why do I say that? Well, of course, everybody is capable of taking pictures, marketing, advertising it, maybe screening for tenants, and being the go-to person if something breaks down. But in my opinion, why would you want to add that responsibility? Because do you have a contact person if the pipes break, if the AC goes out, maybe if the garage door breaks? Are you going to be there to supervise the process from start to finish in regards to making sure that somebody's home to supervise those technicians? Do you know the rules and regulations for a tenant landlord in your city? Will you be able to screen tenants properly? Will you be able to run credit checks, maybe felonies? In my opinion, I personally think that having a property manager is worth your time and investment. I've been on both sides where I was the landlord, but then I've also been on the side where I actually hired a property manager, and the property manager that I use for my rentals has been amazing and great. So these are some key things that you need to go look for to make sure that you're hiring the right property manager to help you along in the process. Number one, make sure that you are checking for fees. Some property managers, they charge a percentage of what the rent is. Others charge a flat fee, but make sure that you are looking to see if there's any hidden fees, such as, maintenance fees, monthly rental fees, tenant fees, vacancy fees. Make sure that you're looking for those. Number two, tenant screening. What type of screenings do they do for your tenants? Are they running background checks? Because you want to make sure that you have the most qualified tenant in your property and that they are one to stay long term. Number three, communication. How is the communication set up with you and the property management firm? Do they have an owner's portal? Do you have a point of contact if something goes wrong or you have a question? In my case, with the property management firm that I work with, we do have an owner's portal, and the property manager that I deal with actually emails me and calls me every single month to give me a status update in regards to what's happening in the rental, if the tenants are planning to move out, and if there are any issues that have come up. Number four, maintenance fees. Is there a certain limit that the property manager will call you in regards to getting something fixed? Do they need approval for big ticket items? Number five, local expertise. If you're in the San Antonio area, I can definitely connect you with some property managers that I have personally worked with and that I have experience with. And I always recommend that you talk with at least 3 of them. That way you can see who's going to work best with you, what their fees are compared to each other, and what each of them is going to offer you. Because maybe you need more hand-holding, maybe you want a more hands-off approach, and you just obviously want to see who you're going to work best with. So should you sell or should you rent out your property? That's obviously an individual decision, something that you're going to have to discuss and see if it's going to fit in your future and your financial goals as well. Yes, renting can give you that residual income if it makes sense, if the rent covers the mortgage and all those individual monthly payments that come up. Selling gives you instant cash on hand, typically, and gives you a clean break from the property. So if you have any questions about either one of those processes, I'd love to be able to help you out. I can run some numbers for you and see what makes the most sense for you and your family. So if you have any questions, and if you enjoyed this video, like I said, please hit the like button below, subscribe to my channel, and so that way you can be the first to find out about the newest videos that come out. And I can't wait to see you on the next video. Have a great day. Bye.